Hello, today we're going to talk about the Dystopian Project that you guys are going to be working on over the next week or so. This is a follow-up to our study of 1984, which is one of the most famous works in the history of this genre of dystopian literature. So to follow up with our study of that novel, we're going to watch a dystopian film or show and write an analysis. And what we're going to use to write that analysis is the dystopian primer that you guys looked over and read through prior to our reading of 1984. So if you remember, we click on this dystopian primer, and I've attached it here for easy access. Okay, gives a background of what dystopian, the dystopian genre looks like. Okay, it also defines dystopia, gives different characteristics of a dystopian society. This is a pretty important section. Okay, different types of dystopian controls. Okay, and then usually what the dystopia protagonist is feeling. Remember, protagonist is the main character of a story or show or film. Okay, so we have that there. And what you're going to do is you are going to select a show or a movie to watch, and then you're going to create a slides analysis document. You're going to analyze that film or show. So let's read through the directions. It says students will attempt to demonstrate in-depth understanding of the elements of dystopian fiction by applying these concepts to a film or TV show of their choosing. Now, if you choose a show, you don't have to watch an entire season, although you could, but at least watch 2 to 3 episodes so you can get all the required information below. And the reason why I say this is that I try to make this equal. So if you're watching a 2-hour movie, you should have an equal amount of viewing time of stuff that you need to watch if you're watching a show, which is why I say 2 to 3 episodes, because usually a dystopian TV show is about an hour an episode. So by watching 2 or 3 episodes of a show, that pretty much equals the running time of a dystopian movie. However, if you do want to watch the entire season, especially if you like the show, then by all means, please do that. Okay, you can work individually or with one and only one partner. You pick a film or show, and there's going to be some options that I'm going to give you guys. Then you're going to create that slides presentation that includes the required elements below. And then eventually you're going to present these slides when the project is due. So you're going to need a cover slide with the title of the film or the show. You're going to need a summary of the film or show. Just give us some context, like who are the main characters, what's the major conflict, what really is it about. Try not to include any spoilers. And this should be about 1 paragraph. Then you're going to apply 2 different dystopian elements from the dystopian primer sheet. And you're going to, under each element, write a detailed paragraph analysis of how that dystopian element is represented in your chosen film or show. So if we go back to the dystopian primer, I should have kept this open. If we scroll down, we can see here the different characteristics of a dystopian society. Read through these and try to pick out the 2 that seem to best apply to your film or show. Okay, another thing you need to do, another slide, is what is the warning the creators of this film or show are offering to society? Dystopian movies, shows, books usually are designed as, here's a warning. If we keep going in this direction, here's what a future society is going to look like. So in your show or movie, what is the warning that the creators of the film or show are offering to society? Essentially, this is going to be one of the major themes of your work. Explain this warning, which, as I say here, is essentially a central theme of the story, and then apply specific examples from the film or show that support this analysis. Then evaluate if this warning is appropriate for today's society. Now, your analysis should be 2 paragraphs. The first on what is the warning and how is it depicted in the film or show, as you can see described here. The second paragraph is, how does this warning connect or doesn't connect to today's society? So there's going to be 2 paragraphs for this particular slide. Remember, if you ever feel like your slides are getting way too text heavy, you can always split them. You can have like warning, slide 1, and then warning, continued, or warning, slide 2, or something like that. You need to write, another slide is you need to write a detailed 1-paragraph analysis of a major symbol from the film or show. How is this symbol incorporated into the story, and what does it symbolize? This should be 7 to 8 sentences in length. Who is the protagonist of your film or show? Identify who that is. And then explain with 2 major examples whether they are dynamic, a character who changes over the course of the film or show, usually as a result of resolving facing a central conflict? Or are they static, meaning they don't change? There should be at least 7 to 8 sentences in length. And you should also pay attention to this, the dystopian protagonist. Which elements of the dystopian protagonist do they fulfill? Okay, and then you need 3 visuals throughout your presentation. Okay, so if we look at how I'm grading this, you need the title of the slides. This should say just title. Okay, you need your summary. The dystopian elements, remember there's 2 elements that you need to describe, 1 slide each, so figure it's 10 points per slide, since there's 2 elements that you have to analyze. What's the theme analysis? Now remember, that's 2 parts. What's the warning? And then how does it apply to society? That's why it's 20 points. 10 points for the warning, aka the theme, and then another 10 points for how does it connect. Picking a symbol and analyzing it, that's 10 points. Protagonist analysis, that's another 10. Having your 3 visuals throughout or more. I mean, try to make your presentation appealing by having some visuals. Probably visuals from the film or show would work great. And then, of course, presenting is also another 10 points. This all equals up to 100 points. Okay, if we also look in this project sheet, this is the first assignment that you're going to owe me, which is simply just you're going to research some dystopian films or shows. I have some listed here, but by no means is this, the only list that you can pick from. If you find a dystopian film or show in your own searching that you want to do, that's fine. It doesn't have to be from this list. It could be something from that you find yourself. What I would suggest is when you go onto Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is, maybe try to go to the dystopian section. They usually have one. Or you type in dystopian genre into their search function, and usually it'll list a bunch of movies. Or you can even Google best dystopian movies and see if there's anything on there that is not on this list that I'm providing you. Okay, but just run it past me no matter what, because sometimes students choose something that really isn't technically dystopian. So if it's not on this list, you are, no matter what, going to fill out this sheet here, which is basically you're going to choose 3 or 4 movie or show options, your top 4 list. And again, you're going to do some online research to kind of look up these movies or shows and see if they would be interesting to you, see if it's something you want to watch. And then you fill out this sheet. Now, the reason why I have you do this is I don't want every student or pairing choosing the same movie or show. I want to have some variety. So if there's 10 people choosing The Matrix, I'm going to probably go into your second or third option. Okay. Please be aware that some of these movies or shows are rated R. If you're not comfortable analyzing an R-rated movie or show, choose something PG-13 or lower. As far as accessing these shows, again, if you have a streaming service, even if you only have one streaming service, there's definitely a dystopian section on there, or at least some dystopian films or shows. If you don't, maybe try to ask a family member if you can borrow a password, try to sign up for a free trial. We have films and shows in the media center and in the town library. Pretty sure those are open as long as you wear a mask, so you can look into that. I do have some DVDs of dystopian films, not a bunch, but that can be a resource. Or you can ask a family or friend if maybe one of them has a DVD copy of whichever movie you're interested in. Your best bet, though, is probably going to be these streaming services. Okay, if you're really having trouble using any of these options, please let me know, and we'll work something out. Okay, so your first assignment, again, is to fill out this list, and then the next time you come to class, I will approve whichever one of the choices, and then that'll be your film or show that you're going to then research and analyze. And then, of course, you're going to follow all the requirements that are listed here, okay? And then, of course, use the dystopian primer to try to narrow down what you're going to analyze for. This is a sample from last year. It's about a movie called Children of Men. Here's the summary. Your summary does not need to be this lengthy, but they went above and beyond. Okay, here's the first dystopian element. Remember, you need to analyze for 2. There's just propaganda. Here's some visuals. The second dystopian element was a dehumanized state. Again, look, see, this is where the characteristics are from. Okay, or dystopian elements, same thing. Okay, I think they had to do 3. You guys only have to do 2. Yeah, they did 3. Okay, oh, I'm sorry. This is the dystopian protagonist analysis. And then some more analysis of the protagonist, another visual. Here's the warning, the major warning. And as you can see, here's the warning, how it appears in the film, and then the analysis, or I'm sorry, and then the connection in the second paragraph. Okay, here's the major symbol and their analysis there. And that's it. And then there's their final visual, which is a weird little visual from the movie. By the way, if you choose this movie and copy any of the stuff that I'm showing you here for this presentation, yeah, that's not going to be good for you. So don't do that. This is just so I can show you an example. Okay, so that's the Dystopian project. And again, the first assignment is the sign-up sheet for the different options. If you have any questions, we will discuss in class. Thank you.